Hi everyone, today we'll be speaking to Matthew, who is a project coordinator at the Department of Higher Education and Training, who works with the Central Applications Clearinghouse, or as we know it, CACH. We will be speaking about CACH and everything it offers. From university and college placement to career advice, we cover everything you need to know, so keep watching. Thank you for agreeing to take this time out just to talk to us a bit and to raise more awareness of the fact that this exists and that it's something that's especially important right now. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Would you maybe want to give our viewers an introduction into what CACH is and everything?
Thanks, Shakina. And maybe let me start off by congratulating the class of 2023, and then get into what CACH is about. CACH is an acronym for Central Application Clearinghouse. That means the purpose of CACH is to clear applicants who could not get a place of study at the institutions they applied for during 2023 application period. At the moment, the project is also implementing the CARES or piloting the CARES service, where applications for a number of universities, colleges, and schools, about 101 schools are participating, 7 universities are participating, and 16 colleges are participating in the CARES, which is the normal application. So then we then tell you that we have learners who applied in the previous year and some were not accepted. So those learners would be transferred onto CACH. And then we will have another set of learners that are not on the pilot schools or are not participating on the pilot. So that those set of learners would have to sign on to CACH. Now they will sign CACH through the URL catch.cas.ac.za. If you are on the pilot schools, those learners on the pilot schools are aware. We have communicated that to them. We've visited their schools. And those that are not on the pilot schools would then go and sign up onto catch.cas.ac.za. Those two set of learners will get the same quality. Is the matter of difference in terms of the channel through which they get onto CACH. Now, let's get to the model of how CACH works. Once your details are on the database, the institutions, the universities, the colleges, the SETAs that still have spaces will log onto the system, search for a criteria of learners or applicants, and say, these learners, they meet the criteria for this qualification that we still have spaces for. Therefore, that will then tell you we should then apply ourselves to say, during January period up to March, that is where institutions are kind of clearing or cleaning or trying to fill up those spaces that they could not fill during the application cycle. Now, we would appreciate that a learner would have anticipated that they will get this score, a higher score, and they find that they got a lower score. And the institution would have provided, for an example, a preliminary offer. If that learner does not meet the requirements, it would therefore mean that learner will fall off and a new learner has to be considered. So institutions will go on to CACH to consider applicants for those kind of opportunities. So that's in a simple terms how it works. You sign up onto CACH or your details go onto CACH, and then the next stage will be institutions logging onto CACH. They check if they see that you meet the requirements and they still have spaces. By the way, also understand that during this period or throughout the sector, the competition for the spaces is too high. So it does not guarantee that you will then be considered. Now, if you happen to be identified by an institution, the institution will send you an SMS that you would have captured on the system, or in an email to say, this is an offer that we are making for you. Are you interested or not? And then the process then will continue with institution. So in a nutshell, what we do as CACH in simple terms, we are a repository, we are a central place whereby the details of people who are looking for places of study are captured. It therefore benefits you in the sense that you don't have to run around trying to say there's a space there, and then the next morning there's a space at UJ, the next morning you run, there's a space at UCT, the next morning you run, there's a space at TUT, the next space, the day you run, there's a space at Limpopo or Mpumalanga. So we put you at the central point, and you are then visible to all institutions in the country. So that's how the CACH works, with the view of simplifying your life as an applicant. I think I should pause here, and then we can move to other questions.
Okay. That was a really good explanation. It sounds like a really good service that you guys are doing, and you guys are definitely changing the futures of so much that you can use each and every year. So would you say should use CACH? Like, is it only for matriculants, or who else? What are the categories of people that should be using a service like CACH?
The CACH is meant for anybody who's still looking for a place of study.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a place of study at the undergraduate level, that is what CACH is. CACH is for you. And in addition to what I said earlier, CACH is a free government service. You don't pay anything. Maybe let me repeat: it's free, it's mahala. You don't pay nothing.
No cash for CACH. Okay, that's really good. So are there any requirements for anyone that wants to sign up?
The beauty with CACH is, in terms of the results, we get the results from the DBE and National Senior Certificate results. You just have to put in your details in there, and you are captured on the system. You just need a computer, a phone, with internet connectivity, and you sign up onto CACH.
Okay. And then how can someone who's interested in using it, how can they sign up? What's the process like?
The process is like, you will go on to CACH, www.catch.cas.ac.za, and then it will take through the process of signing. Perhaps if you look at what I've mentioned earlier on, it talks to providing access to be seen by institutions. Additional to that service, we provide what we call referral. If a learner is not sure as to what you can study, we've got a unit in the Department of Higher Education and Training. We call it Career Development Services. You can be transferred to that unit, or that unit can contact you, and then you discuss matters around careers. Also, if there are funders, some funders, they come through the CACH database, they see what set criteria of learners, then we are able to provide them with that information. So it's not only about looking at the universities and colleges. Some organizations come onto CACH and say, we've got learnership, we want a profile of these learners, then we can provide them with that, with your information. So when you are on CACH, there are those benefits that you can derive.
Okay. And then, so it's just you go to www.catch.cas.ac.za and you just fill in your details, and that will basically put you on the database. So there's no further application after that for anyone that they need to do, or how does it work? Like,
yeah, there's no further
after that.
There's no further application that has to be done by an applicant. Once you have signed up onto CACH, In actual fact, the sign up opens on the 26th, and then I'm going to share why it's opening on the 26th. And then institutions from the 2nd of February will then be able to go on to CACH and say, we are looking for this profile of learners. Once you have signed up, there's not much more that we have to do. The only thing that you perhaps may do is to say, I want to change the career direction that I've said I want to be considered for, or I want to change the programs that I said I want to do. You can change your address, you can, but those are just your administrative information.
Okay, and are there any documents that they need to submit also when they sign up?
At the moment, we don't require any documents. We get the matric results from DBE. The detailed verification of IDs and all the necessities will be done once an institution starts to communicate with you. Applicants should appreciate that when you are accepted or you are given a space, you are not given a space at CACH or by CACH. You'll be given a space by an institution. CACH is not an institution, is not a university or a college, if I have to put it that way. We do not have space at CACH. We just facilitate you, assist you with the facilitation of your applications. Once you're done with CACH, your relationship will be between you and the institution.
So CACH is basically the middleman between you and getting placed at institutions.
Yes, CACH is a central hub. It's putting you there to say, it's kind of, for lack of better word, it's kind of making you available. I just don't want to say market, because when you say market, you're creating an expectations, but then it's making you visible. To, if for an example, you are in the, and some of us are in from deep rural areas, you are in the deep rural areas, in Limpopo or in the Eastern Cape or in the Mpumalanga, you sign up onto CACH. Once you have signed up onto CACH, it's as good as you are in Joburg or you are in Cape Town, because UCT, Best University, University of Limpopo, University of Mpumalanga can see you without you having to go to those institutions.
Okay. So you said it's opening on the 26th of this month.
We're starting on the 26th. I said I will explain why. We received the results from DBE on when they are released, which for this year it was the 19th. Now, once we release the results, we take the results, we put them onto our database. So during this period, from the 19th up to the 25th, 26th, we are busy. At the moment, we are busy trying to quality assure, making sure that the results are as accurate as per the DBE, so that when you log in, your results can be reflected in the system. And when institutions do consideration, they will consider you on the basis of authentic and accurate results.
Okay. And then until when will it be open?
The CACH has got two components. We've got the normal service, whereby you sign up and the institutions consider you, and then the second part is the survey. From the 26th of January up to the 31st of March, you can sign up, you can change your details, you can check your status in terms of whether you got an offer or not. And from the 1st of April, we then do the survey. The purpose of the survey is to quality assure ourselves, to see what are those burning matters amongst the people who are using the CACH. So once you are on CACH, from the 31st and from the 1st of April, if you are on CACH, you're likely going to be contacted by one of our call center agents, who will then ask you a number of questions, like things like what you like about CACH, what's frustrating you about CACH, and some such things.
Okay. And then, so can you maybe mention again, you said the institutions, the number of institutions that you guys are linked to? Can you mention that again, maybe?
Okay. In terms of CACH that we ran in January, all the institutions are allowed to use
Okay. So that's all
private,
public institutions.
public and private.
Oh, and private. Okay.
Yes. And over the years, we have noted most of us are given by private institutions, and we learned that some learners are not happy with that arrangement. So when you sign up on CACH, you will be given an option to select whether you want your information to be given to private institutions. So it's going to be up to you. But then for now, we cover for private and for public, colleges and universities.
Okay. Okay. And then so you mentioned that so it's placement and then well not placement, but it's giving you the possibility of placement and then career guidance through career development services. Are there any um other services that are offered through CACH?
Yeah, the services that can be offered in through CARES, we are in a dynamic environment. Some organization will come and say we've got a learnership and we need a profile of these learners. Then we would be able to go onto the database or give the organization access to CACH, and then they access that information. Okay. Some organizations may say we've got a bursary and we need this profile of the learners. So there are many other opportunities that are available. For an example, we've got international scholarships that we're working with within the department. When the scholarships comes through, they sometimes come to us and say, look, we've got this scholarship is looking for as students of this criteria, and then we give them access and they will go in and search and make their own decisions. We don't make decision as to who accept who and who is got accepted.
Okay. And then so you said it's just catches the middleman, and then it's given to the information is given to not only colleges and universities but also people who maybe have learnerships and bursaries. So if the person signing up signs on CACH, they don't have to still apply to the university itself.
If you sign up on CACH, you don't have to apply at the university, in the sense that all the universities have got access to CACH.
Okay. And then let's talk a little bit about CAS as well. Can you explain maybe the difference between CAS and CACH and just what CAS is?
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. The CAS stands for Central Application Service, which ideally should be the umbrella, should include applications and clearing. So you would appreciate the application process is you would apply, say, I want to study engineering, medicine, LLB, and any other qualification. You're specific as to what you want to study. And you apply to a specific institution. That's application. And the process will have either of the two outcomes, accepted or not accepted. So when you are accepted, well and good, it's fine. An institution will then proceed with you. When you are not accepted, let's say you applied at 3 universities and 2 colleges. If all of them don't accept you, you then would need to be cleared or given a second chance for admission. So that's the model how it works. You would apply and then you go on to CACH, or which is clearing. So unfortunately or fortunately, that process was interrupted in the sense that in 2012, when we had a challenge in UJ, which in the form of a stampede, the department thought, let's do something in the meantime while we are still developing this case, this application service that will start in March up to sometime in October. And then CACH came into place in the current form of signing up. So in future, we're looking at people applying. When they don't get a place of study, they go on to clearing. So in future, there is not going to be this sign-up exercise because everybody would have applied. Those that are accepted, information goes to institution, that are processed by institutions. Those that are not successful, then they go on to CACH. And then comes aspect of late application and stuff like that. So that's where CACH and CAS differ. At the moment, to the public, is still confusing in the sense because of the interruption of 2012, whereby we for lack of better word, we put the cart in front of the horse, because ideally we should have had CARES implemented together with CACH at the same time. But then because when you implement a project of this magnitude, you need to do proper planning and proper analysis. So as we are implementing CACH and we have now started with the pilot, we're juggling this, but then eventually we're looking at having a streamlined process whereby you apply, you don't get a place of study, you got onto clearing, and then that process will end there.
Okay, so how is the pilot doing? Like, when do you think that it will be ready for the public?
The pilot is ready. It has started. We started in 2022. We've got 101 schools now participating. We've got 16 colleges participating. We've got about 7 universities participating. So some are coming on board. So we're looking at, in 2025 January, not having anything like catch.cas.ac.za. Noting the uncertainties in project, in the nature of project,
yes,
we will manage that such that we achieve our goal. But then the vision is that by 2025, people in 2024 application that are going to be taken now between March 2024 and October or November 2024, people would apply, and when they don't get a place of study, they go on to clear. So the process then gets streamlined. That is the dream of the department. That is the dream of the project. And we know together with the institutions and the public and the schools, we should be able to achieve that.
Okay. So good luck on that project, and good luck on the 2024 CACH cycle as well. You guys are doing great work, and there's a lot of conversations and people trying to make plans for next year happening right now, and this service is a great service, especially with, if you don't get placement, there might be a learnership for you, or you can get career guidance. Like, it's a really good thing that there are multiple avenues as well for people who want to plan their first matric. So thanks for that, and thank you for speaking to me and giving us this time. And yeah,
thank you. The pleasure is mine, and thanks for the opportunity to share this service to public. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching our interview with CACH. CACH is an amazing service for anyone who's looking for a place to study, or also just planning their career and thinking about what it should be and what it should look like. Be sure to take advantage of this opportunity if that sounds like you, or maybe share with anyone who you know that is looking for the same thing. You can also check out our website, which is www.careersportal.co.za, for more information. Comment down below what your plans are for studying, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.